An Aries who's a fearless leader, and another who's always seeking adventure.
Today I just looking it up on YouTube and then saw that the channel Zodiac Talks implies that Aries represents fearless leader archetype, which is both wrong in both ways, because there are two keywords here, right? Fearless and leader. Leader is only suited in under jurisdiction of 7th house, Libra or Venus, and then fearless is inner confidence about what leads to suffering and what leads to happiness. So the only three signs that could even be possible is Libra or 7th house, Sun, Leo or 5th house, and then Jupiter, 9th house, and Sagittarius. Of these, I picked Libra because there is a very obvious manifestation of leadership qualities shine through, then that's probably going to be Libra as the main focus. And then we can see that fearless. So let me try to share with you how I come to the conclusion that these planets fit certain archetypes. Because house is more like how do you go through conditions to realize or develop that kind of qualities, right? For example, 3rd house is about right mindfulness, right? If you do it properly, right? What kind of condition is kind of like zodiacs, what kind of conditions you need to develop the 3rd house, which is mindfulness or awareness of others' needs. So for me personally, when I think of a tyrant, it's more like Saturn, because Saturn is kind of like noise filtering. Now Saturn under skillful circumstances is a pretty good planet for the meditation and non-attachment kind of study, but it's not but it can there can be a very easy to appear a disparity, right? So it's very easy to appear ruthless tyrant, which is very understandable. I mean, a lot of Chinese emperors are very ruthless tyrants, and they can kind of fixate on an idea, which is very fitting for a Saturn. And Saturn is also the most likely planets of the three to go rogue compared to the other two, Mercury and Pluto. Saturn is actually more likely to go rogue and do unwholesome acts compared to the other two. As for Sun or Jupiter, Jupiter's fearlessness is a more right view, and what I talked about yesterday's video, what leads to suffering and what can lead to happiness, right? There's a balance between the theory of what leads to suffering, and then the balancing that and not shaming your desires and needs. I think that's important. That's the Jupiter Libra. Whereas for something like Sun Libra is more like a fearless leader, also a fearless leader, but it's more kind of using mystic forces and believing in the impossible and trying to achieve it, and trying to also help others achieve it. For example, when someone is full of greed and hate, that person use mystic forces to help that person removes his greed and hate, right? It's kind of there's a Buddhist text say about Angulivala by King Pasenadi. He who we try to conquer with weapons and fire, swords and weapons, the Buddha tames Venerable Angulimala without swords and weapons. I think that's a very concise but fitting description of saying using mystic forces. That also makes sense for Sun Libra too, to some extent. I mean, Sun is definitely accurate. I just don't know if that occasion has any leadership qualities, but it's very fitting for the Sun qualities. And for the last one, it's about leader who rises up when occasion needs him to. That is very typical and classic of the Venus Libra. So this is the end of the video.